Most agents are using AI for the single lowest value thing it could possibly do for their business. You are having it write your listing descriptions. And I want to stop you there because the listing description is the last 400 words a seller reads and the first thing that they will actually forgive. Actually, the highest value work AI does for me happens before I ever even get in the car. 15 minutes at my kitchen table and I walk into a listing appointment knowing things about the property that the seller does not even know about their own property. Stay with me because the middle of this video, I am going to give you the single most useful prompt that I run, which is the one where I ask the AI to argue against me. I'm May Guesties. I sell luxury, equestrian, and acreage property across Southern Arizona, and I'm a founding member of our Land and Ranch division. This channel is for agents who are already producing, so I'm skipping the part where I explain what a large language model is, and I'm going straight to the actual 4 passes that I run in order with a timer. 15 minutes, 4 passes. I time them because the whole point is that this has to survive a busy week. So 4 minutes on property intelligence, 3 minutes on pricing context, 5 minutes on the objection pre-mortem, which is the one that changes all of the appointments, and 3 minutes turning all of it into a single page that I can hold. That is the entire system. Notice what is not on that list. I'm not generating marketing copies. I'm not making social posts, and I'm not writing a listing description. And I'm not building a 40-slide presentation that nobody asked for. Every one of those 4 passes exists to do one thing, which is to make me the most prepared person in that room. Sellers cannot evaluate your marketing plan. They have no basis for comparison, and every single agent's plan sounds identical. What they can evaluate instantly and unconsciously is whether you know more about their property than they do. That is what the entire listing appointment is. Everything else is just decoration. So pass 1, 4 minutes, property intelligence. Here's the part people get wrong. I'm not asking AI for facts about the property because the AI does not have them. And if you ask, it will invent them, which I will get to later. But I'm going to ask it to build me a question list. I describe the parcel. For example, 40 acres in Sonoyta, 1 house built in the 90s, a shared well with unpaved access. And then I ask it, what are the 15 questions a buyer's agent will ask about this property that could kill the deal? And I want you to rank them by how often they actually kill the deals. What comes back is a checklist. The well depth, the age, output in gallons per minute, and whether there's a recorded share well agreement or is this just on a handshake. Whether the parcel sits inside an active management area because that governs what a buyer can do with a new well. Septic permit and last inspection. Easement of record versus the road everyone has actually been using for the last 30 years. Road maintenance agreement or the absence of one. Whether the parcel has ever been split and what that did to the legal description. So I walk in with that list and I ask the seller every question on it. Half the time they do not know the answer. And that is the moment right there that I stop being one of the 3 agents that they are interviewing. Pass 2, pricing context, 3 minutes. And I have to be careful how I describe this one because this is where agents get themselves in trouble. AI cannot see your MLS. It does not know what closed on that road. If you ask it for comparable sales, it will produce something that looks exactly like comparable sales, but is fiction. So I pull the comps myself the way that I always have, and then I use the 3 minutes on the argument, not the data. I give the AI my comps and I ask 2 things. Which of these will a buyer's agent attack and on what grounds? Second, help me articulate the adjustment I am making in a language that the seller will accept. That second one matters more than it sounds because out here comping is genuinely hard and the sellers know it. When I have 40 acres with a house and there have been 3 arguably similar sales in 18 months, I'm not doing the math. I am building an argument. Price per acre falls apart the second you have improvements because nobody pays the same per acre for the first 5 acres as the last 35 acres. A well that produces 20 gallons a minute and one that produces 4 are not the same property at any same price. Paved access versus 3 miles of dirt that washes out in the monsoon changes the buyer pool, not just the number. Those are the adjustments I have to defend out loud, and having language ready for them is worth 3 minutes of anybody's time. Pass 3, and this is the one I want you to actually use. So I'm going to give you the prompt structure, and this can be used in any market, any type of home, any listing appointment. But you're gonna spend 5 minutes on the objection pre-mortem. Most agents rehearse their presentation. I rehearse the argument against me. Here's what I type. You are the seller of this property, and here's the situation. And then I describe it honestly, including the parts that are not flattering to my number. Now, argue for a list price 12% above than the one I am bringing. Give me your 3 strongest arguments and make them really good. Do not be polite about it. And then I sit there and read a seller tearing my pricing apart in advance in my own kitchen where it costs me nothing. And it is uncanny how often it produces the exact argument I would actually get 2 hours later at the listing appointment. The neighbor's place listed higher. The improvements we put in were expensive. There is nothing else like this property, which out here is frequently true and is the hardest one to answer. So I write my response down before I leave the house. No scripts, because scripted answers sound like scripted answers. Just the shape of the response and the one number that anchors it. Then when it comes up, I'm not thinking about it, I'm remembering. That is a completely different look on your face, and sellers can read your face. But here is what nobody tells you about the pre-mortem. It works because you feed the unflattering version. So if you were to describe the property the way you want the seller to see it, you get back a weak argument and a false sense of readiness. The whole value is in being honest about where your number is soft. Pass 4, 3 minutes. This is the page, the one page. 3 numbers I will say out loud and can defend from source. 3 risks I found in pass 1 that the seller probably does not know about, and 1 sentence about who actually buys this type of property in plain language, because that is the part that sellers remember on the drive to the mailbox, not a buyer persona. A sentence. The person who buys 40 acres in Sonoyta is usually leaving something behind. And if you understand what, then you understand how to sell that property. The page goes on my passenger seat. I do not bring a binder. Now, the hard rule, and this is the only rule in this video, AI never touches anything the seller will receive as fact. Not one number. Everything on the page came out of the MLS, the county recorder, the assessor, or a document that somebody gave me. AI organized my thinking. It did not source a single figure. And I want to be specific about that because vague warnings do not change behavior. It will invent comparable sales. Not occasionally. It will produce an address on a road that exists with a closing date that looks plausible and a price that is in range, and none of that actually happened. It will get parcel and acreage details wrong and state them with total confidence. It will cheerfully write you fair housing violations because describing who a neighborhood is good for is exactly the kind of sentence it is built to produce and exactly the kind of sentence that ends careers. So use it in front of yourself, never in front of the client. Every number gets verified against the source before it goes on the page. And if you cannot verify it, it does not go on that page. That is not a limitation of the tool. That is the job. And I want to give you the specific scenario because I have watched a version of it actually happen. An agent asks for recent comparable sales on a rural road. What comes back is 3 addresses. The road is real, the numbering convention is right, the prices sit in a believable band, and the closing dates are inside the last 6 months. It looks like an actual report. The agent puts it in front of the seller mentions one of those addresses to a neighbor, and the neighbor says that property has not sold since 2011. There is no recovering from that in that same appointment. And there is probably no recovering from that in a neighborhood at all. The tool did not fail. It did exactly what it does, which is produce the most plausible looking text. Plausible is not true, and a seller cannot tell the difference. You are the only control in that system. If you are a producing agent and you want the actual prompts I use for this, or you want to talk about what your own pre-appointment system should look like, you should give me a call or a text. 520-980-9880. This is not a webinar, not a course, just a conversation. And subscribe if you want the systems behind a real production business, because I put out one every single week. I'm Meg Estes, and I will see you out there.